I'm going to take this piece of scrap steel that was left over from the tongs I made a couple episodes back, and I'm going to go ahead and just bang out a little project with it. Probably going to be it's going to be a little knife, 3-finger handle, just like a little utility knife. But yeah, I just want to use up this little scrap piece and make it into something that I hope is going to be usable and nice. So I'll go ahead and continue to heat this up, and I'll get the camera over here, and yeah, we'll get started. So hold on. All right, so we're going to start by thinning down the stock a bit. Everything cools down quick when you first get started. I'm going to turn it around, work on the other side a little bit. I like to get it down to about 1/8 of an inch. Thinking like a nice little whittling knife or something. Whatever the heck that is. Yeah, sometimes it's just nice to grab a scrap piece of metal and pick up the hammer and just kind of make decisions with it as you go. Not that you're letting the metal do what it wants to do, but you just kind of make on-the-spot decisions on how you want it to look. Nothing planned, just all improv, I guess. And it does give you the opportunity to just kind of understand how the metal moves as you hit it. Alright, so I'm shaping this belly of the blade because that is going to cause an upset at the edge and make it thick. So as I do that, put it on the flat, hammer it, and take that upset out. But when you do that, it kind of puts a little bit of deformation back here. So you hit the belly again, hit the flats again, knock the upset off, and you just kind of keep doing that until you get the profile that you want. So we're getting close to where I want it, and then I'm going to start to thin it out again. Alright, so I got it thinned down as far as I want to go right now. Just going to clean up this what's going to be the belly cutting edge. We're going to flip it around and I'm going to flip it around and isolate where the handle is going to start. And we'll continue to thin it after that, but when I isolate where the handle is going to be, it's going to upset it more. So again, I'm going to have to hammer it down to isolate the where the handle is going to start, but it's going to upset it. And I have to put it on its flats, hammer that out, go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until I get the handle shape the way I want it. Let's isolate the handle. Try to go about dead center, I guess. Alright, so I'm still isolating the handle area. So I got a little bit of isolation here. Now I'm going to set it back and do some shaping of the handle on the horn. Get it up here on the round part of the horn. Having trouble holding on to it. Alright, so I'm shaping the handle over the horn. So I got a pretty good shape in the handle, and now I'm going to go back to thinning the blade down, or the stock down a little bit more. It's still way too thick. And that's going to stretch the handle out a little bit as well, so it'll add a little bit of length to the handle. So I'll flip it back and forth as I go. Alright, so I got my shape in. I think I like the way it looks. Now I'm going to come back with my daily driver. Finish out all those forging marks, the P marks, and That will thin it down yet a little bit more, and as you can see, the handle did get a little bit longer. Do some light hitting and some darker heat, so smooth that out best I can. Okay, so back on the blade. Back on the blade. Alright, so thinning the blade down, stretching it out a little bit, kind of staying away from this side. This is going to wind up being the bevel. Alright, so I'm setting up to start laying the bevels down. Doing some plenishing. Getting those peen marks out, truck, straight peen. Alright, so I think we're about ready to the point where I start laying them bevels in. Okay, just some bevels in here. So I think I want to go with a steep Scandi edge. Take one more heat on this side. So as I bevel this, you see it's going to curve like a banana. And there's many ways to keep that in check and correct that. I happen to be using the wood method. on this knife, I could have pre-curved the blade. I could have left it thick and hammered on the spine as I hammered on the bevel to help keep it in check. But for this knife, I decided just to use the old tried and true block of wood. So I'm going to take a few more heats putting these bevels in. Okay, so this will probably be my last video, last scene of me putting the bevels in. Just putting a really short, steep bevel in it. And I'm just going to do that until I get something that I think looks good. This may very well be the last heat, I don't know, but I'm going to let that curve go a little bit now. Stop correcting it. I want to get a little bit of curve in it, just for aesthetics. Alright, so I got the forging finished. Just doing some normalization. So next is going to be profile on the belt sander. Get some bevels in, do some handles, and yeah, a quick little knife out of a piece of scrap metal. So stay tuned, we'll get on to the next step. I'm going to go ahead and actually let this sit in the forge overnight, cooling down, be nice and soft tomorrow when we go to do the profile and all the grinding. And yeah, we're not going to do every little part of the rest of the knife build. I really just wanted to highlight the forging. But we'll bring you back with a profile, we'll bring it back with a bevel, we'll bring it back with some handles, and we'll call it done. So, how it on? Alright, it's the next morning and I'm going to get a profile on this thing. Alright, so one thing I like to do is I use all my worn out belts for my profiling because hitting a belt on these edges, if it's a new belt, it just knocks all the grits off like right away. So I always use my worn out belts when I do my profiling. Save those, they always come in useful. I'll usually save a belt till it's down to the paper almost, and then I'll throw it away. Alright, so I got that to a medium Scotch Brite finish on the flats. So next we're going to put the bevels in, and then we'll do some tang work, and it'll be ready for heat treat. I always put my bevels in with a brand new belt. Alright, so I wanted a short, steep edge on this one. A little bit more than a Scandi grind, but not as much as a Sabre grind. And what I pretty much did was ground both bevels down to a wire edge, and then I cut it back to a reasonable thickness for heat treat, which is usually right around a 1/16 of an inch. So, okie dokie. This one is going to get some holes in the handle, and then after that we'll be ready for heat treat. Alright, we are ready for heat treat. I did change up the handle shape a little bit after looking at it. Went ahead and took a rat tail file, radiused this in here. Kind of put a little bit of a different feel to the handle. I narrowed it down a little bit. Daggone train. Commerce. Alright, with all that, we're about ready for heat treat. I'm just going to do a little bit of hand sanding on the bevels. I'll probably take it to 150 or 200 grit finish. Either way, I don't know yet. After that's done, we'll be ready for heat treat. So, get ready for that. Alright, here's a knife out of Heat Treat and Temper, and I don't know if the lighting can see it, but it is about a straw color with little hints of purple. So next we're going to get this over to the belt sander, and we're going to do a Scotch Brite finish on the knife, and then it's going to be ready for some handle work. So hold on. Okay, so I got the handle off the belt sander with a Scotch Brite finish. Now I'm going to get some scale material made up here. I think this is a small piece of tiger wood, so I'm going to get this on the bandsaw, get a couple of scales made up.